Good evening. Welcome to the Elphinstone 2020 graduation ceremony. As we begin tonight, I ask that you pause. Take the time to be where your feet are. My feet are here at Elphinstone Secondary, situated on the unceded lands of the Squamish Nation. Wherever your feet are right now, I ask you to acknowledge this privilege. Let's also respect this grad class in the same way you would if you were sitting in plastic chairs in the hot, uncomfortable gym at the school. There are some advantages to our current situation. My name is Mark Gertzen. I am tonight's Director of Ceremonies, and I haven't had a haircut since February. Just this week, my daughter commented on my hair looking like I was wearing a helmet, and it kind of does. Things are far from perfect, but they never are really perfect. It has been a spring like no other. We all wish we could be experiencing this together, in person, seeing each other's smiling faces, giving hugs, high fives, reconnecting with other parents, some of whom you haven't seen since your kids were little. There are so many things that we miss. However, we are still together. Our community is strongly connected, despite the current circumstances. We have supported this dynamic group of individuals while they have worked for years to reach this milestone. Wherever you are watching this, I invite you again to be where your feet are, to take the time for this entire ceremony and honor each individual student here at this unprecedented time in history. Sarah Manny will now introduce the graduates.
Gabrielle Alcock and Madison Watson. Catherine Alcock and Kalia Vortsis. Christelle Alriando and Carmen Tompkins. Ben Ashcroft and Brett Kopek. Keegan Ashley and Tommy Johnson. Hannah Behrens, and Zoe Connellan Williams. Finnegan Magnanesi. Daniel Bate and Amen Smarden. Desiree McPherson Holster. Alyssa Boban and Tyson Cheedy. Anna Heilig. Lauren Heilig and Avery Bell. Congratulations. Jeremy Hempel. Kenzie Blackman and Nicholas Broughton. Tora Abe. Ella Dufresne. Damian Dixon. Jayashri Bosod and Sierra Mertz. Julia Savage. Michael Bradwell and Jimmy Martin. Byron Brampton. Jessica Carroll and Murray Nielsen. Jessica Wenzel. Sarah Davidson and Megan Edgar. Sean Messner. Kathleen Despan and James Stinson. Matthew Poirier. Ava Dugal and Jessica Scott. Mark Olson. Emmanuel Fadipe and Sierra Hinks. Chris Parrish. Sophia Fiedler and Michaela Robinson. Jem Camille Gallardo, Michaela Neary. Micah Reed. Madison Gray and Katesy Vanderwoord. Shayla Gregorchuk and Erica Peterson. Gavin Houle. Nevada Hayes and Dylan Stiles. Selena Stenner. Carly Kerr and Angie Williams. Niall LaBelle and Carter Thomas. William Stevenson. Ailish McKenzie and Samantha Solis de Avando. Ireland Walker. Dylan Moseyman and Cole Moseyman. Trinity McAdam and Allison Stewart. Kelly Palm and Romy Sheedy. Isaiah Fair and Lucas Riggs. Liam Wilson. Sasha Qureshi and Alistair Smith. Maddie Wimmer. Georgia Riggs and Sydney Riggs. Josh Perez Solomon. Ian Season and Morgan Spain. Ben Fisher and Taj Wagner.
Lynn Uchi Moyer, Hannah Lulu Shinkai, Montana Fretwell.
Macy Udell and her brother Harrison. Jilly O'Brien and Amber von Schleinitz. Gavin Line. Jack Clark and Larry Lynn. Cassandra Markel. Charlotte Connolly and Anthony Cottrell. Cameron Nolan. Jax Bourgeot. Congratulations, grads.
What a tremendous group of individuals. I would now like to welcome a local member of the RCMP to the stage, as well as Jessica Wenzel, who will be singing O Canada. Wherever you are right now, if you are able, please stand.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Bringing greetings from the Legislative Assembly is Nicholas Simons.
Congratulations to everyone who's graduating, to the entire class of 2020. On behalf of the people of the province of British Columbia and the Premier and all the residents of the Sunshine Coast, this is an exciting day for you. Years of schooling have culminated in a wonderful opportunity to celebrate this significant milestone in your life. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm on the traditional territory of the Squamish people, and I recognize that School District 46 spreads throughout the Coast Salish territory to the Sechelt people as well, and I like to respect the protocol and acknowledge the territory. You're graduating from one of the best school systems in all of North America. We have the best teachers, we have the best administrators, we have the best staff that British Columbians could possibly hope for. What you've learned since entering kindergarten is impossible to quantify, but what you've gained is evident. Friendships, maturity, knowledge, and an understanding of the world that I hope serves you well throughout your lifetime. Kindergarten was so long ago, it's possible that you've already had memories that might have faded. You've had triumphs, likely you've had struggles, but along the way, you've had friends, teachers, coaches, and family to guide, push and pull, and laugh with you along the way. And this year's graduation is like no other. To you who have looked forward to doing what last year's class did, or what an older sibling or friends or relatives might have done when they graduated, you might be disappointed. But we all know you'll find ways of marking this achievement in other ways, that you'll find time in, I hope, the not too distant future where you and your friends can get together for fun. You're graduating during a pandemic that has jostled our society's foundations. Sporting and artistic events have been canceled, schools have been emptied, businesses closed, gatherings have been prohibited, and people couldn't even approach each other. And stacked on top of this is a renewed worldwide demand for racial justice, for murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls, for Black people, for Asian people, and for brown people. One day, you'll look back when some of your memories of this time may have faded, or when distance may separate you from this beautiful Sunshine Coast. I hope that on that day, you feel an immense pride in knowing that when our world faced a threat, that you and your community came together as children, youth, adults, and seniors as one, and as British Columbians, we did what we had to do. Bonnie Henry has pointed out that this is going to be a unique graduating class. It's been over 100 years since we've had an event like this pandemic, she says. Few of us will ever know or experience graduating in circumstances such as this. So, in the words of our provincial health officer, be kind, be calm, and be safe. And from all of us, we hope you just do your best, and congratulations.
Our next speaker is Mayor Bill Beamish, who brings greetings from the town of Gibsons.
Hello, and a big congratulations on behalf of myself and Gibsons Town Council to all 2020 graduating students and to School District 46 for providing this graduation ceremony under the most challenging of circumstances. I'm sure that you will all long remember this, your final year of high school, and tell your children and grandchildren all about it. It will be hard to forget COVID-19 that has ended your 13 years at school. As students, you are among the most affected in our community, with virtually every part of your life turned upside down in response to the virus. However, while this year has been challenging, I don't think it has been entirely negative, because the fact of being alive during a global pandemic has provided many opportunities for growth. We've learned key lessons about the importance of following the rules, of staying safe, of making personal sacrifices, and of being considerate of one another. It has sparked new hope, providing numerous examples of local heroes like healthcare workers, first responders, and in many cases, our own friends and neighbors. We will not soon forget Dr. Bonnie Henry, for example, who gave us the reassuring and all-purpose mantra, be kind, be calm, be safe. Dr. Henry has not been afraid to express her individual style or, occasionally, even her emotions in her role as BC's top public health officer. Let's now follow her example and be our true selves as we interact with the world. If nothing else, 2020 has made it possible to ignore the fact that we live in a global community where our collective actions either help or hinder our shared goals. It has also reminded us that we cannot be silent when it comes to matters of discrimination and intolerance of others, and we must speak out if we want to see change. This is the world that you are entering into as graduates. It is a huge responsibility. Perhaps the most important lessons of your 13-year journey through our education system are those most recently experienced and shared. That challenges are also learning opportunities. That difficult times forge new heroes. That we are all in this together, and that by joining forces, we really can overcome the largest of problems. And that we must not be afraid to speak out against intolerance and injustice in its many forms. Your graduating class has been challenged like none before. You have been tested by the pandemic of 2020, and you have been successful. Given that, how hard can the next 50 years be? My sincere congratulations and best wishes for future success to each one of you. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Patrick Bocking, speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Education.
I am so pleased to be here with you to celebrate your graduation from high school. I'm also pleased to be able to talk to you a little bit about where you are, because You are graduating from one of the best educational systems in the world. We know that British Columbia students consistently rank very highly on international tests of literacy and mathematics and science. So one of the things that you can take with you is an academic background that has prepared you for whatever you want to do in the future. I often wonder, though, as important as that is in education, is to educate, if that's really the most important thing that you're getting out of your high school experience. When I visit your school, I see students and staff interacting with each other respectfully and joyfully. As a stranger, I may come into the school and students smile at me. They hold the door for me. They make me feel welcome. It's a special culture that you have in your school. It's a special environment that is going to set you up for success for the rest of your life. It's something special to set up a system and a culture of support. Wherever you go for the rest of your lives, you're going to be bringing that with you. We have challenges in our world. We have diversity. We have change. And we have opportunity. With your excellent education that you've developed with your teachers and with other staff, you're going to do wonderfully, wherever you go. Some of you are going to begin in the work world. Some of you are going to be thinking a little bit more about exactly what it is you want to do. And some of you are going straight to college or university to further your education in different areas. Wherever you go, all of us at School District 46, all of your teachers and your principals, all staff, are so proud of you. Congratulations on your graduation. I wish you all the best.
Our final greeting is from Pamela Ruth, representing the Board of School Trustees.
I stand here at this podium on behalf of the School District 46 Sunshine Coast Board of Education to congratulate you on this amazing achievement. You have all worked so very hard to get to this point, only to find uncertainty in where you will go from here. I'm not going to sugarcoat what you're going to face going forward. These are unprecedented times. However, they are also ever-changing times. The beauty of the future is that it is always the unknown. No one has the privilege of seeing beyond what is today. Plans? If you had plans on going to university, but now everything is online, just remember 3 months ago, half the adult population didn't know what Zoom was. If we can figure it out, you can rock whatever technology has to throw at you. Planned on backpacking in Australia or taking a gap year travel to Europe? We already live in an amazing country that people from all over the world come to visit. Our beautiful province even more so. Explore your own backyard. Spend part of your grad money on helping your local economy get back on its feet. You will forever be known as the COVID class of 2020. But I am a believer in a silver lining. You will be able to outstory our generation with our 13 TV channels and no PVR. And even your grandparents' generation with walking to school 2 miles uphill, both there and back. You are special. You will face the unknown head on and accept the challenges that come your way, because that's who you are now. I would like to extend our thanks to your parents, as well as to teachers and staff for helping keep your momentum going. I am sure it was not an easy feat keeping you on task regardless of the pandemic. But ultimately, it was your doing, your perseverance that got you here. And it is that spark that will get you through anything the future throws at you. You've got this. And remember, when the path looks difficult, look back at what you have already accomplished, what you have been through, and know that just like getting to where you are at this moment, you will never be truly alone. Chin chin sway, we are all in this together. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2020.
Ms. Sue Bailey and Mr. Scott Bruce will now present the grads with their certificates and scholarships. Ms. Carrie Malman will present our Aboriginal students with a carved cedar eagle feather created for the grads by Spiritworks under the direction of seashell artist Shane Jackson. Eagle feathers have great cultural and spiritual value to Indigenous peoples. Both bald and golden eagles and their feathers are considered sacred. They are honored with great care and treated with the deepest respect. Eagles represent honesty, truth, strength, courage, vision, wisdom, and freedom. When a person receives an eagle feather, they are being acknowledged. School District Number 46 Aboriginal Programs and Services gives eagle feathers at commencement ceremonies to recognize the educational accomplishments of Indigenous students. People of the Aboriginal community have made the feathers available as a symbol of their pride and respect for the students. Sue, Scott, and Carrie.
Mr. Bruce and I feel pleasure and honor at getting to read the descriptions that the students have written that they would like to be read as they cross the stage. Gabrielle Alcock. Gabby's future plans include attending post-secondary school. She would like to thank her family, her friends, and her teachers for helping her. Gabby has made many great memories at Elphinstone.
Madison Watson. Madison would like to thank her parents for always believing in her and encouraging her to do her best. She would like to thank the teachers that never doubted her abilities. Lastly, Madison would like to thank her friends for always being there and keeping her motivated. Best wishes to her fellow graduates.
Tora Abe. Tora's future plans include attending post-secondary, traveling, and working. Tora would like to thank his friends and family for making high school great.
Catherine Alcock. Catherine plans to take a gap year to work. She then plans to attend university to study and become a pediatric nurse. Catherine would like to say thank you to everyone who helped her to get to where she is today. The last year has been truly unforgettable.
Kalia Vortsis. Kalia plans to take a gap year, to travel, and then to continue her education at university. She would like to thank her parents for all their support and thank her friends for making high school unforgettable.
Carmen Tompkins. Carmen is excited to start the next chapter of her life together with her friends. She would like to thank them for making high school memorable.
Christelle Alreyano. Christelle would like to thank all of her friends for giving her such unforgettable memories throughout the years. Ella Dufresne. Ella will be attending the University of British Columbia in September to study the Bachelor of Design in Architecture, Landscape Architecture, and Urbanism program. She is thankful for the support of her family, her friends, and her teachers throughout her high school career.
Ben Ashcroft. Ben plans to take a gap year where he can work and travel. He would like to thank his family, his friends, and his teachers.
Brett Kopek. Brett would like to thank his family, his friends, and his teachers for the support over the past 5 years. It has been crazy, but he wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Damian Dixon. Damian would like to thank his family and his friends for helping him through these past years.
Keegan Ashley. Keegan plans to pursue post-secondary studies in the architecture engineering field. He would like to thank his family as well as all of the Elphinstone staff. Keegan also thanks all of his friends, especially the boys, who have been there since grade 8 and will continue to be there. Keegan is honored to achieve this diploma and graduate with the class of 2020.
Tommy Johnston. Tommy would like to thank both his parents and sister for all the help they have provided him throughout his high school. He also thanks a few of his closest friends for being there all the time and making high school a time to remember.
Hannah Behrens. Hannah would like to thank all of her family and friends for helping her get through high school, especially during this final year. She would also like to thank her teachers for always being there to help her with her work and for their assistance in planning her future endeavors.
Zoe Conlon Williams. In the fall, Zoe plans to do one semester at the University of British Columbia. She then plans to do some traveling. Moving forward to next spring, Zoe will be moving to Australia to attend the University of Sydney to study engineering and arts. She would like to thank all of her family, her friends, and her teachers for a wonderful time at Elphinstone.
Finnegan Manyanesi. Finnegan has had a lot of fun at Elphi and is looking forward to his future. He would like to thank his family for helping him through his high school years. He would also like to thank Mr. Cavison, Mr. Beiser, and Mr. Topping for all the support they gave him. Finnegan wishes all his fellow graduates good luck.
Daniel Bate. Daniel would like to thank his parents for helping him to stay on track with his schoolwork.
Aman Smarden. Aman will be pursuing post-secondary education at the University of British Columbia, where he will study political science and economics. He plans on using all the lessons he learned from his time at Elphi in his future. He would like to thank his family, friends, and everyone who has helped him on his journey. The last 5 years have been memorable and fun.
Desiree McPherson Holzer. Desiree would like to thank her family and friends for supporting her while at Elphinstone.
Alyssa Bobian. Alyssa would like to thank her family and her teachers for supporting her. She also thanks her friends for making these past 5 years at Elphinstone unforgettable. Alyssa would like to wish everyone the best.
Tyson Gigi. Tyson would like to thank his family and friends for making school easier and much more enjoyable.
Anna Heilig. Anna plans to stay on the Sunshine Coast for the time being and study psychology sometime in the future. She would like to thank her parents for always showing her love and support, and also her friends for being there for her since the start. Anna also thanks her teachers for helping her through it.
Lauren Heilig. Lauren would like to thank Elfie for a great last year.
Avery Bell. Avery would like to thank her dad for being there for her. She also thanks Lauren for making the last year of high school a little easier.
Jeremy Hempel. Jeremy would like to thank his parents for bringing him to Canada, where it's been a great change from living in an overcrowded city to fresh air, work opportunities, drinkable tap water, and friendly people.
Kenzie Blackman. In September, Kenzie will be attending the University of British Columbia. She would like to thank her friends and her family who have been there for her the whole way.
Nicholas Broughton. Nicholas would like to give a thanks to his friends for making his year memorable.
Jayashree Bosold. Jayashree would like to say thank you to her friends and family and teachers that have supported her throughout her high school experience.
Sierra Merritts. Sierra would like to thank her family, friends, and all of her teachers that supported her.
Julia Savage. Julia will be attending UBC in the fall to study microbiology and immunology. She would like to thank her family, friends, and all the teachers and staff at Elphi.
Michael Bradwell. Michael plans to work towards earning his private pilot's license to pave the way for his future career. He would like to thank all of his friends for making his journey enjoyable. Michael also thanks all of his teachers as well as his family for their endless support.
Jimmy Martin. After graduation, Jimmy will be playing for the Castaway Wanderers Rugby Club in Victoria. He would like to thank his mom and his friends for making the last 5 years memorable.
Byron Brampton. Byron would like to give a special thanks to Mr. McPherson for his hard work with the Russia trip. He feels that he is now well prepared for future escapes to foreign countries.
Jessica Carroll. Jessica would like to thank the amazing school staff and administration. She also thanks her friends, her teammates, and her family who have given her memorable experiences for the past 5 years. She looks forward to what the next chapter reveals and hopes that everyone will set off confidently in the direction of their dreams. It has been fun.
Mari Nielsen. Mari will be studying general science at the University of Victoria next year and looks forward to new challenges and opportunities. She wants to thank all of her family, friends, and the school staff for their support and encouragement they have given her throughout her high school. Mari wishes all of the graduates of 2020 good luck in whatever your future holds. Jessica Wenzel. Jessica just has one piece of advice. Fools who don't respect the past are likely to repeat it.
Sarah Davison. Sarah is looking forward to her future plans, which include attending Thompson Rivers University for sciences and later going into nursing. She has a big thank you to all of her family for supporting her over the last 5 years in high school. She could not have made it to where she is today without them. Sarah also thanks her friends for making these the most memorable years.
Megan Edgar. In the fall, Megan plans to attend the University of Victoria to study psychology. She would like to thank all of her friends and her family for making high school unforgettable.
Sean Messner. Sean would like to thank his family, friends, and all the staff for his high school experience.
Kathleen Dupin. Kathleen would like to thank her friends for being stellar. She has a special thanks for Miss Kirschenbaum and Miss Robertson for also being stellar. Despite inevitable trials and tribulations, it has indeed been a lovely time.
James Stinson. James would like to thank family, friends, and everyone that has supported him along the way. His only departing comment is goodbye.
Matthew Poirier. Matthew is excited to start his post-secondary education helping people. He plans on becoming a paramedic. He would like to thank his family, friends, fellow students, and a wonderful staff at Elphinstone.
Ava Dugal. In the fall, Ava will be attending UBC for kinesiology. Eventually, she'd like to study abroad. Ava would like to thank her friends, her family, and her teachers. She also thanks her boyfriend, her dog, and most importantly, Mr. McPherson and the Russia 2020 group. Advice for future grads, always go on school trips.
Jessica Scott. Jessica will remember Elphinstone as a place where she met amazing people, learned a bunch, made many mistakes, and had a lot of fun. She would like to thank all of her past teachers. Jessica also thanks her friends for keeping her sane, and she thanks her parents who have done so much for her and deserve the world in return.
Mark Olson. Mark will be attending UBC's mechanical engineering program. He would like to thank his parents, grandparents, and especially his papa for inspiring him to become an engineer.
Emmanuel Felipe. Emmanuel would like to thank his family and friends for all of their support.
Sierra Hinks. Sierra plans to study environmental science at Thompson Rivers University. She would like to thank her family and all of her friends for helping her along the way.
Chris Parrish. Chris will be living and working on the coast after finishing at Elphinstone. He would like to thank his family and his teachers.
Sophie Fiedler. Sophie plans to take a year off to travel. She then plans to attend post-secondary to pursue her volleyball career. Sophie would like to thank her friends, her family, and her coaches for all of the support throughout the years.
Michaela Robinson. Michaela plans to continue her education in Victoria. She would like to travel parts of the world. Michaela would like to thank her family and friends for their love and support.
Jem Camille Galliardo. Jem Camille would like to thank her teachers and her friends both here and from the Philippines. She has special thanks for her family for supporting her throughout high school. Jem Camille hopes we can all reach our goals in life, even though it may not be easy. We all have the fighting cougar spirit.
Michaela Neary. Michaela would like to thank her family and her friends for all their support.
Micah Reed. Micah sends a shout out to all the graduates of 2020. He wishes them luck next year with their plans. He will never forget all the fun memories that have been made with the people he feels lucky to call friends.
Madison Gray. Madison's future's plans include traveling abroad, meeting new people, and creating new memories. She would like to thank everyone who got her through these years. Madison says that she would not be here without the support from her friends, her family, and from her teachers.
Katesy Vanderwoord. Katesy thanks her family and friends. To future grads, she says, savor every moment. Shayla Gregorchuk. Shayla plans to focus on future university studies in order to pursue whichever career path she may choose.
Erica Peterson. We made it. Erica would like to thank all of her teachers that have been there for her over the years.
Gavin Houle. Gavin has special thanks for his friends and his family.
Nevada Hayes. Nevada's future plans include traveling abroad, meeting new people, and creating new memories. She would like to thank everyone who helped her through these years, and she mentions that she would not be here without the support from her friends, her family, and from her teachers.
Dylan Stiles. Dylan plans to continue his education at the University of Victoria in the fall of 2021. He would like to thank his family, friends, and the staff at Elphinstone Secondary for helping him get to where he is today.
Selena Stenner. Selena would like to thank her family, teachers, and especially her friends. She wishes all her classmates happy graduation. The grind doesn't stop.
Carly Kerr. Carly has enjoyed her time at Elphinstone. She says the teachers have been great and the people are cool.
Angie Williams. Angie is sad to see this chapter of her life end. She would like to thank Chef Barry for all the muffins he baked. No muffins will ever compare. She is going to miss B-Top, Miss Kirschenbaum, and Miss Robb.
Niall LaBelle. Niall is planning on attending UVic in the upcoming school year. While this may look different than previous years, he's excited to move off the coast and live somewhere else.
Carter Thomas. Carter plans to live and work on the Sunshine Coast this fall. He would like to thank his family and his friends for all their support.
William Stevenson. William will be returning to his home country of Denmark and will continue his studies in science. He hopes to stay in touch with his new friends and would like you to know it was a pleasure to graduate with you.
Ailish Mackenzie. Next year, Ailish will be attending the University of Ottawa to study a joint honors in history and political science. She would like to thank everyone that helped her meet all of her deadlines at the very last possible second.
Samantha Solis de Avando. Samantha plans to continue her studies in the arts. She will be attending the University of British Columbia this September. Samantha would like to thank her family, friends, and teachers for supporting her.
Ireland Walker. Ireland would like to thank all of her teachers that helped her over the years. A special thank you to Miss Ross for always listening, no matter what.
Dylan Moseman. Dylan plans to study psychology after taking a year off to work. In the future, he hopes to do a lot of traveling, especially to Russia. He would like to thank his family, friends, and teachers.
Cole Moseman. Cole would like to thank all of his teachers and staff who helped him over the years. A big thank you goes to Chef Barry for making him food. Trinity McAdam. Trinity plans on exploring the world. She would like to thank all of her wonderful friends for making high school a memorable experience she will look back on fondly.
Allison Stewart. Allison will be going to Blanche Macdonald School for Makeup. She plans on having a career in makeup as well as traveling the world.
Kelly Palm. Kelly would like to thank Miss Robertson for helping and supporting her and her art through high school. She would also like to thank Mr. Cavison and Mr. Topping for giving her the opportunity to grow and actually enjoy writing essays. Kelly.
Rami Sheedy. Rami wants to thank everyone and hopes you'll have an amazing life. She would like to share this. There is no such thing as fiction, only history written in the wrong universe. Author unknown.
Lynn Ochi Moyer. Lynn would like to thank her family, friends, and all the people that have been there for her during the last year in high school.
Honolulu Shinkai. Honolulu will be attending Simon Fraser University in the fall, while she will be studying the fine arts. She would like to thank her family, friends, and teachers for supporting her and encouraging her to always try her hardest.
Montana Fretwell. Montana is planning on taking a gap year after finishing at Elphinstone. He would like to thank all his teachers and his education assistants.
Macy Udell and her brother Harrison. Macy would like to thank her teachers and EAs at Cougar Crossing, as well as her family and friends for their ongoing support. Macy has enjoyed her years at Elfie and plans to return next year.
Jilly O'Brien. Through the ups and downs of school, Jilly would never have pictured it ending like this. It's a reminder of how quickly life can change and how we must cherish the things we love. She wants to thank everyone who is here for her through it all and taught her life lessons that she will forever hold on to.
Amber von Sleinich. Amber would like to thank her parents and her friends for supporting her through everything. She would also like to thank everyone from Elfie for all the radical memories.
Gavin Lina. Gavin has enjoyed attending Elphinstone. He thanks his family, his friends, and his teachers for the support and the memories.
Jack Clark. Jack plans to go to Simon Fraser University to continue his love of computer science and to continue doing software development. He also plans to do the entrepreneurial programs there so he can learn to create his own technology company.
Larry Lynn. Larry is really glad to have been an Elphinstone student. He has enjoyed studying here and he has met good friends.
Cassandra Merkel. Cassandra is excited to be graduating and will be continuing her education at university. She would like to thank all her friends that have helped her get this far. A special thank you to her brother. Love you, bro.
Charlotte Keneally. Charlotte says that she can't wait to graduate and start the next chapter of her life. She would like to thank her friends who have made every day the best that it could be.
Anthony Cottrell. Anthony would like to thank his family and friends for all their support.
Cameron Nolan. Cameron would like to thank his family and his friends for all their support.
Jax Bourgeot. Jax would like to thank her family and friends for all their support. Isaiah Fair. Isaiah would like to thank his mom for all her support. He also wants to thank Ms. Marquis and Mr. Schutz for introducing him to the game of rugby. Isaiah would like to say to all the Elphi students, get her done.
Lucas Riggs. Lucas would like to thank all of his friends who made these 5 years of high school so memorable. He hopes to see you around.
Liam Wilson. After graduation, Liam would like to find an apprenticeship in the trades program where he can receive a red seal.
Sasha Qureshi. After graduation, Sasha plans on studying engineering at UVic. He would also like to travel to Europe and Asia. Sasha would like to thank his family for being supportive and his friends for always being there for him. His one piece of advice is to give future graduates, prioritize your homework.
Alistair Smith. Alistair is excited to move off the coast and start university. He would like to thank his mom and dad for supporting him, and he would like to thank his friends for making high school enjoyable.
Maddie Wimmer. Maddie is excited to graduate and move on to the next stage in her life. She wants to thank her friends who she wouldn't trade for the world.
Georgia Riggs. Georgia would like to thank everyone at Elphinstone who helped her through her high school and who continue to support her, especially her parents.
Sydney Riggs. Sydney is excited to move forward and experience all the new things that life has to offer. She would like to thank her family and friends for helping her get through these years in high school.
Joshua Perez Solomon. Joshua plans on continuing his education at UBC, studying engineering. He would like to thank his family for always supporting him. He would like to thank Mr. Cavison for always going above and beyond to help him and all the other students in times when they needed it most.
Ian Season. Ian would like to thank his family, friends, and teachers, and especially Miss Sanders and Miss Robertson for being so supportive and helping make his high school experience enjoyable. Ian says, "Now I will sashay away."
Morgan Spain. Morgan has been accepted into the Northern Collaborative Baccalaureate in Nursing program in Prince George. She's excited to pursue a career as a registered nurse. Morgan is incredibly thankful to her family, friends, and teachers for helping her get to where she is today. The past year has presented more than its fair share of challenges, but we have proven that we're resilient and ready to take on what lies ahead.
Ben Fisher. Ben plans to take a gap year to travel and ride his bike. He would like to thank his family and his friends for making these past few years so incredible.
Taj Wagner. Taj would like to thank his family for their continued support. He would also like to thank Ms. Manny for encouraging him to take part in Toastmasters and for getting everyone to do so many great things for the school. A special thank you to Ed for his carpentry instruction in the ACIT program and to Ms. Gordon for all her help.
Congratulations, graduates. This year, you got to watch your friends walk across the stage, and for the first time, you got to watch yourself, too. Each year, the grad class honors an individual by asking them to be their guest speaker. This year, their choice is none other than Mr. Brian Topping.
Well, the Elphinstone secondary class of 2020. I told you in grade 8 that you would most likely be my last graduating class. And here we are, me after 27 years of teaching, and you ready to leave this place and move into the next phase of your life. We're living in remarkable times, and I would be remiss if my words to you did not focus on the profound impacts that COVID-19, the global climate emergency, and the massive conflict in the US and Canada is having on our lives and our futures. COVID-19 has imposed on all of us a new daily reality. Even this grad and the delivery of education has been altered. Now, I could focus on the negative aspects of these events, but I wanted instead to have you consider the gifts that you might have embraced during this time. A reminder of how precious your very life and health is. Really, everything else kind of fades away if we focus on that one thing. The importance of your family, friends, community, and of the natural world. The power in knowing that you can step outside the consumer culture and still be okay. You can put your phones down for a little while and it's all right. The opportunity that you're presented with in shaping a conversation around a new economy and improved supports for marginalized people. The global climate emergency has also loomed large this year, and despite denials by corporate interests and those desperate to maintain the status quo, things have to change. But amidst the gloom, and especially during COVID, we've witnessed the miraculous ability of nature to recover and heal. Skies and waterways have cleared, and animals have returned to places from which they've long been absent. And we've witnessed the power of social protest in bringing this to international consciousness in a way that wasn't possible before the technological revolution. You guys play a huge part in making change. The choices that you make, the pressures you bring to bear on industry and government will have a dramatic impact on the planet on which we live. The riots and protests of the last weeks, both in Canada and the United States, are painful reminders that society's Band-Aid is so easily ripped off and that the wounds are exposed. It seems ludicrous, even insulting, that people are still being valued or devalued, protected or persecuted because of differences in skin pigmentation, accent, religion, or sexual and gender orientation. You need to explore this truth and to acknowledge that racism, exploitation, and inequality exists in our society. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., in his 1967 speech entitled "The Other America," responded to a critic who had commented that the American Negroes should simply pull themselves up by their own bootstraps to better themselves. Dr. King said that it was a cruel joke to say to a man those kinds of things when he didn't own a pair of boots. I've enjoyed teaching and working with all of you. I also appreciate that many of you have already become advocates and activists for causes of social justice. your involvement with the Interact Club here at school, your climate awareness rallies at Davis Bay, your comments in discussions about justice and fairness for others, speaks volume about your passion, commitments, and awareness. It fills me with hope. Senator Robert Kennedy, the brother of the murdered President John F. Kennedy, and who himself was assassinated, gave a speech at the University of California, Berkeley in 1966, entitled A Speech on Race. He closed with this challenge: you can use your enormous privilege and opportunity to seek purely private pleasure or gain, but history will judge you. And as years pass, you will ultimately judge yourself on the extent to which you've used your gifts to lighten and enrich the lives of others. Please start thinking about that today. You have an opportunity and your most serious challenge and life goal to reach out to others with kindness, to ask how you might help them, and to validate them by listening to their stories. So, my graduates, the class of 2020, I am proud of you and your efforts. I've seen dramatic growth and change in our 5 years together. I've witnessed you confront your own fears and transform yourselves. I've watched your academic and personal struggles, and I've seen your celebrations and triumphs. I hope that I've helped you on your journey in some way to become a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit better. Thank you.
The next three awards are one of the ways we preserve the history of the students of this school. To help present these is Mr. John Brisbois. The first award is for the Grad of the Year. This is perhaps the most significant to the grads because they vote on it themselves. It is given to the grad who they feel has made the biggest contribution to their class. This year, the award goes to Jessica Carroll. The top academic award is the Headland Shield. This prestigious award is given to the top academic student. It takes an incredible, consistent effort to achieve this award. It will be presented after all the final grades have been completed, and you will find the winner in the credits of tonight's ceremony. The third award is the Ex-Elphi Award. It's made up of all the awards that melted when the original school burned down in the 70s. It is chosen by the staff and recognizes the top aggregate student who has excelled in all areas of student achievement, including academics, athletics, and service to the school and community. This year, the award is shared by two graduates. Congratulations to Mari Nielsen and Julia Savage. Our next speaker tonight, as chosen by the grad class, is the person they feel can best represent who they are as a group. Please welcome this year's valedictorian, Jessica Carroll.
When I started writing this speech, I thought to myself, life is like a roller coaster. Yeah, I'm going to use that to open my speech. We've got our ups, our downs, yep, never crashing and enjoying the ride. Ooh, that's good. I'm going to use that. But it was like I sealed the deal before even giving myself a chance to reflect on what this analogy actually entailed in terms of truly relating to me and my classmates. After a fair amount of head-scratching and contemplation, I came to the conclusion that life, in fact, is not like a roller coaster. Life is actually more like the process of building a roller coaster. And through this speech, I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it is my utmost pleasure to speak today on behalf of the Elphinstone graduating class of 2020. We want to sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, give a huge thank you to our amazing teachers, school staff, administration, principals and vice principals, our superintendent and district authorities, parents and guardians, our siblings, our generous donors, and our incredibly nurturing and inclusive community. The one person who is truly the cherry on top of our high school experience, and I think we can all agree, is the man, the myth, the legend, Chef Barry. An enormous thank you for everything you've done, not only just for us grads, but for every single student who has set foot in Elphinstone during your reign of the kitchen. I'd also like to recognize a few of our teacher sponsors and parent volunteers who willingly invested their time and energy into supporting us throughout the year. Mr. Yamamura, Miss Ross, Trevor Ashley, Shannon Vanderwood, Miyuki Shinkai, and Rachel Carroll all played key roles in the planning of and fundraising for our graduating year. You also acted as mediators when we needed it, which was probably a little bit too often. We are certainly a tough group to handle, and without your support, we couldn't have accomplished nearly as much as we did. Having said that, let's get back on the tracks. In this new roller coaster building analogy, each and every one of us belongs to a giant theme park, that is, the world as we know it. We all have our own little piece of land where we have the opportunity to design and construct our very own roller coasters. The beginning of our roller coasters starts with our community. This is our foundation. It is strong, supportive, and reliable. We are so lucky to be a part of the Sunshine Coast community and have our rides start in such an amazing place. The first 8 years of our education was spent in our lovely elementary schools and programs where we learned core building skills like how to make our coasters safe, how to treat other builders respectfully, and how to work as a team. Most importantly, these years taught us that building a roller coaster is almost impossible to do by yourself. Navigating high school has been, and I reckon will be, one of the trickiest sections of our roller coaster building processes. Entering high school, we were granted a little bit more freedom, a little bit more independence, and a lot more lesson learning opportunities. We became more concerned with who we hung out with, what we wore, and our social media presence, and less concerned with who was Foursquare champion. And Mari, I'm gonna beat you one day, I promise. And the thing is, we began to make decisions that would really affect the style of tracks we were building. Entering Elphi as grade 8s was definitely scary. We quickly learned who stood at the top of the food chain, and it wasn't us. This was a time of making mistakes in our construction, rebuilding those spots even better, and slowly getting a hang of the high school routine. I think it's safe to say that we all coasted through grades 9 to 11. We were out of the hot seat of grade 8 and not yet in the spotlight of grade 12. Now, I don't want to disregard the immense amount of character building and learning we experienced during these years, but in my eyes, these years were defined primarily by our maturity developments. Each year was another step towards the top of the food chain, the big kids, the leaders. As we steadily approached our senior year, we felt a swelling sense of responsibility, decision-making stress, and sentimentality. Well, some of us felt that. There was an atmosphere of panic that warned, "This is your last year, you better make it good." And what we did have, I think we can all agree, was pretty great. But as grads of 2020, we've been challenged by a set of unusual circumstances that have caused grade 12, our final year, to be quite unconventional. While weathering this storm, sections of our roller coaster just simply couldn't be built, but we didn't complain too much, and we continued to build what we could, which is pretty inspiring to me. Aside from that situation and the chapters of melodrama, I think from the portion of the year we had together, we spent it pretty well. Even if it wasn't as significant as we would have liked, our class became more cohesive and more collaborative. We helped each other build our rides piece by piece, and we worked together to make the process more enjoyable, easier, and memorable. Throughout building this section of our roller coasters, we've gathered life skills and lessons, strategies, and tools in our tool belts. One by one, we started to realize that there was actually a lot more involved in building roller coasters than we expected, especially if you want to make it bigger and more adventurous. We've been preparing for a huge transition in style. Maybe it's a sharp bank in another direction. Maybe it's a loop-de-loop. Or maybe it's a long, slow, linear grind upwards. And shout out to Yams for engraving the calculus design project in my brain. Thank you for that. Every single one of our roller coasters is going to be different and unique, stretching far beyond what the eye can see. In other words, now is when we take our separate ways and decide what our lives will look like outside of Elphinstone, who we're going to become out there. Honestly, I will miss you all. It has been a pleasure growing up together, whether it be since kindergarten or just the past couple of years. We have all made such a meaningful impact on each other that will carry with us throughout our entire lives. I'm truly proud of every single one of us and incredibly thankful for all of our supporters who pushed us, even on the days we didn't want to build. I'm excited to see what kind of crazy, riveting, and adventurous additions we all build throughout the next phases of our lives, and I'm confident that each of our coasters will continue to inspire those building near us. Sincerely, guys, it has been a wonderful ride. Congratulations, class of 2020. We did it. Chin Chin Sway, we're all in this together.
Thank you, Jessica. It is an honor for me to close tonight's ceremony. Grads of 2020, as I mentioned in my opening, this has been a year like no other. Truly, we can hope, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Your graduation won't be forgotten. You will not be forgotten. I have to be honest, the 20-some years of teaching and the graduation ceremonies that go along with that have blurred as time passes. This grad will definitely stand out as unique. The school year is over, summer is here, and even though our vacations may be closer to home than normal, we still have a lot to celebrate. At this moment, nobody knows what the future really looks like. Grad ceremonies often highlight moving away from home and traveling the world. We don't know when that will be possible. However, grad ceremonies are also filled with expressions like, "You are our future," or "You will shape the world for generations to come." And those still ring true today. Our lifetime will forever be split into two categories, before COVID-19 and after. Right now, we exist on the boundary of those categories. It is a delicate position to be in for all of us. You can decide to let the future happen to you, or you can take the opportunity to create it while being mindful of the present. Be where your feet are. Seize the day. Don't live waiting for good things to come, but find the good right now. It's all around you. Start there and then choose how you will step forward. We, the community that supports you, wishes you the very best in whatever you do. May our feet be together in the same place in person someday soon. Congratulations to the Elphinstone grads of 2020. Good night.